Hybiz News. My name is Suresh Kocharyan. President Donald Trump, who is seeking re-election for a second four-year term, has welcomed the latest GDP estimates released by the US Department of Commerce on Thursday. The real gross domestic product, or GDP, increased on an annual rate of 33.1% in the third quarter of 2020, according to the advance estimate released by the Bureau of Economic Analysis. In the second quarter, real GDP decreased by 31.4%, an official release from the Department of Commerce read. Soon after the report was made public, President Trump tweeted, "GDP number just announced, biggest and best in the history of our country, and not even close. Next year will be fantastic." However, sleepy Joe Biden and his proposed record-setting tax increase would kill it all. "So glad this great GDP number came out before the November 3rd elections," he said. Democratic presidential nominee and former Vice President Joe Biden said that the report underlined the truths about the present economy. "We are in a deep hole, and President Trump's failure to act has meant that the Q3 growth wasn't nearly enough to get us out, and the recovery is slowing, if not stalling. The recovery that is happening is helping those at the top, but leaving tens of millions of working families and small businesses behind," he said. And with no plan to convene Congress to get a real deal done on the economic relief for those who need it badly, the White House admitting that they have given up on trying the virus and under control, President Trump still has no plan to get our country out through this cost and move forward in the crisis, Joe Biden said. The Trump campaign said that the latest GDP report has proven the success of Trump's America First policies. Joe Biden spent 47 years in Washington shipping jobs overseas and selling out to China, said the Republicans. President Trump has defended American jobs and brought back economic success back to the country, the campaign said. America's hardworking men and women form the backbone of this country, and with President Trump, they will always have an ally in the White House. The Trump's campaign new advertisement backbone highlights President Trump's economic record of promises made, promises kept, and will air on the network and cable broadcast across the country, it said. The Department of Commerce said that the increase in third quarter GDP reflected the continued efforts to reopen businesses and resume activities that were postponed or restricted due to COVID-19. The full economic effects of COVID-19 pandemic cannot be quantified as the GDP estimate for the third quarter of 2020 because the impacts are generally embedded in source data and cannot be separately identified, it said. According to the Department of Commerce, the increase in real GDP is reflected increases in personal consumption expenditures, private inventory investment, exports, non-residential fixed investment, and residential fixed investment that were partly offset by decreases in the federal government spending, reflecting fewer fees paid to administer the Paycheck Protection Program loans and state and local government spending. Imports, which are now a subtraction in the GDP calculation, has increased. Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer said that the GDP report provides some good news and some bad news. The good news is that the assistance provided by the CARES Act, secured by the Senate Democrats, accounts for a large percentage of GDP growth in the third quarter and helped stabilize the economy and has begun to propel the nation's recovery, he said. The CARES Act provided fast and direct economic assistance for American workers and families, small businesses, and preserves jobs for American industries. The bad news is President Trump and the Senate Republicans have been timid and could have been much more a robust recovery by allowing the much of the assistance in the CARES Act to expire and by refusing to provide additional support to millions of American families. Had Republicans joined us in supporting the second robust and bold relief package, the second half of the 2020s recovery would have been much stronger than it is anticipated to be, Schumer added. Every day, Americans are still hurting, and even with the third quarter GDP growth as reported today, we have lost $600 billion of economic output, and our economy will still be down more than 3.5% from where we were at the end of 2019, he added. Thank you for watching.